just had a Comedy Central Presents recently. How about a big hand for Pat Dixon, everybody? Pat Dixon. Hey, thanks. Hey, everybody. I'm wearing a suit. I put this on for the show tonight. Yeah, I couldn't wear what I was wearing the rest of the day. The rest of the day I was wearing the Snuggie. Yeah. The blanket with sleeves. Great outfit. Finally, an official uniform for depression. What a warm, cozy way to give up. They even give it a cute name, the Snuggie. That's because nobody would buy it if they called it what it really is, the Cloak of Sorrow. I'm in a good mood, actually. I'm in love again. Wow, that's a great feeling, you know, great girl. And the moment I laid eyes on her, I knew, you know, that she was someone I was looking at. I have to have that. I've always been kind of impulsive with women, you know. I married my high school sweetheart, you know. Yeah, which when you marry your high school sweetheart, it's kind of like you said, you know what? I've looked all over the school. Like the dumbest way to find a wife ever. Didn't work out between us. You know, here's how I found out we're splitting up. I was gonna get a tattoo of her on my arm, right? She's like, I wouldn't do that. My wife had really low self-esteem. Actually, it's one of my favorite things about her. She always thought she was fat, and she would tell me, I'm fat. When a woman says she's fat, you have to say something. You know, you can't just like... You can't shrug and leave the room, you know? I'm fat. You're perfect, that's what I used to say. You're perfect, baby. You don't need to be any smaller. Okay. No bigger. You don't need to lose anything. Let's not add to the perfection. My girlfriend now is perfect. I really love her. She's half Spanish, which I really like. You know, she's half Spanish. The other half doesn't really matter because the half Spanish part ate the other half. She's half Spanish, half regular, I guess. But she's very passionate, you know. I'm passionate. Apparently passionate is some combination of loud and irrational. Just a lot of volume and craziness, you know. My mother was a Spaniard. I'm passionate. My dad was an alcoholic. I'm nervous. So we're learning from each other now. She's teaching me Spanish, and I'm teaching her how to just calm down. It's kind of a stereotype, I guess. Those aren't always true. Like, I went to France, right? And everybody says they're rude, and so I found them to be a little rude, but then I thought, well, who am I talking to? The people selling me crepes, right? And croissants, and tour maps, and little mini Eiffel Towers. The people dealing with tourists, right? And I figure I'm a tourist. I can't judge all the French based on the people, you know, selling souvenirs in Paris. That's ridiculous. That'd be like coming to the United States and judging all Americans based on the people selling souvenirs in Times Square. Right? In which case you'd be like, wow, all Americans are Nigerian. I like living in New York. It's pretty cool. Kind of intense sometimes. I was a victim of an attempted conversion. A guy just stepped in front of me. Do you believe in God? I'm like, big guy too. Do you believe in God? He said it twice. I'm like, relax. He said, when you die, do you want to go to heaven or hell? I'm like, where are you going to be? So I don't argue with anybody about religion, especially if they haven't read the book, you know. Like, I was talking to one guy, I'm like, so you believe everything in the Bible? He's like, yes, I do. I'm like, so you've read everything in the Bible? He's like, oh, no, of course not. Like, okay, so you believe stuff you haven't read? Yes, that's correct, I know. Okay. So for some people, the Bible is the Word of God, the book of books, the greatest story ever told, right? But for you, it's more like one of those long license agreements you see on the internet. If you don't read that either, you just scroll to the bottom and click, I agree. Same problem with both. You're like, look at all that writing. I don't have time to read all that. I'm sure it's all basically true. I accept. I try to live pretty clean, though. I quit drinking. I quit smoking. I haven't done drugs in years. After that, I gave up pleasure. Happiness. Next, I'm working on giving up the will to live. Get that monkey off my back. Some people are addicted to pornography. I think that's the internet's fault, right? They had that because you didn't hear a lot about that addiction before it was free online, right? It's right there all the time. It's too tempting. That's like if you're an alcoholic and they build a liquor store on your desk. And you got to go into that liquor store to get your email every day. Next thing you know, you're spending the whole day in the Snuggie. I used to drink a lot and used to do a lot of crazy things when I was drunk. One thing I never did when I was drunk is breastfeed. Mostly because I didn't want my girls to sag, but also because it's illegal. A woman was arrested last year. It is actually illegal to get drunk and breastfeed unless your baby is 21 with valid ID. In which case it's not illegal, it's just weird. But weird or not, liquor and breast milk. I mean, sounds pretty good. I'd like a glass of that. That's like nature's White Russian. The point is, kids get started too early drinking, I really think so. I was in a store, there were some girls in there, underage, they wanted me to buy them some beer, you know, because they were too young and everything. And part of me is like, girls, you do not want to go down this road. Right. The other part of me is like, want to go camping? All right, I'm all done. Thank you very much. Dixon, everybody.